Let us talk about data types. Data types are very important. See, we write the programs, the instructions, so that they can perform some operations on data. So without data, there is no need of programs. The question is, where do you keep data in your programs? We keep the data in variables in a program. What type of value you want to store in a variable, depending on that, you can select the data type for a variable. So there are predefined data types available in C++. Just like in every programming language, you find the data types. So here also in C++, we have built-in data types available. So I have a chart here showing all the data types available. So what I will categorize them. See, the data types, we can categorize them into three types. Data types. First one is built-in data types. So built-in data types, we also call them as primitives. Next is derived data types and user-defined data types. So we can categorize data types into three: built-in or primitive, then derived data types, and also user-defined data types. Let us see what are primitive or built-in. So the list that you see here is built-in data types only. Again, these can be categorized as integral data types and floating point data types. Floating point means these are decimal type with decimal point. So the categorization is without decimal point and with a decimal point. Now inside this integral, we have integer type as well as character type. Character is also integral type only, integer type only. Then under floating, we have two types, that is float and double. First, let us understand all these. See, integral type, here in the list, these are all integer type, this integer type. Then the character, these are all character type. Then under this floating point, float and double, this is float and this is double. And one more data type that is available, that is bool. Here I write that is bool, and one more data type is available that is not mentioned here, that is void. Then what are derived data types? Derived data types are arrays. We have this concept, we will study it sometime, and pointer and reference. These are derived data types. So using these primitive data types only, we can extend them and form these. And user-defined data types, we can define our own data types using structure, class, enum, and union. Using primitive data types only, we can define our own data types. So I have listed all possible data types in C++. So let us look at them once again. The primitive built-in are there, derived are there, user-defined. And primitive, integral type, float and decimal type, and also we have bool and void. Under integral there are two, and float also two. Using this, we can derive more data types, and also we can define our new data types using this, that is struct, class, and all these things. Now we will pick up all these things one by one and I will discuss. We will talk about these data types. See, here the name of the data type is given and what is the meaning of the data type, and there the number of bits each data type is taking, that is minimum number of bits given there. So actually how much size each data type takes, it depends on the compiler and the operating system on which it is developed. See, different compilers of C++ gives different sizes for these data types. So this is minimum number of bits that each data type takes. It may take more than that also. Let us talk about character type. In that, this is the first one we will see. So this is useful for storing a character. So character means any English language alphabet. So what are the characters that are there in character set? Capital A to capital Z and small a to small z, and the digits from 0 to 9, and other special symbols like bracket, comma, or minus, plus, semicolon, colon, so on. So all the characters that are there on the keyboard comes under English alphabets, that is character set. So you can store any character, and that data type is useful for storing just one character. So how many bits it takes? It takes 8 bits. Character takes 8 bits. But the question is, our machines, computers cannot understand alphabets. They work on binary number system. Then alphabet should also be converted into a number. So yes, there are some numeric codes defined for these characters. So those codes are called as ASCII codes or ASCII codes. So let us see what are those codes. American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So capital A is represented with number 65 and B is represented as 66 and so on. So capital Z is 90. Then small a is 97, small b is 98 and so on. So small z is 122. Like 0 is 48 and lastly 9 is 57. So for special characters also some codes are available. So mostly students by heart this one, these codes are required. You should be able to quickly recall or find out the code for any characters. If in any computations this is useful. In some computations it is useful. So character is 8-bit. 8-bit means 1 byte. So in 1 byte it can store the code for any one of these characters. ASCII code of any one of these character in binary form. Like if suppose I have to store A in this one. So A is 65 and the binary form of this 65 is, so this is 100001. This is the binary form. So to store 65 in this one, that is to represent A, it will store 1 and then 5 zeros and then 1. And this leading will be zeros only. So actually if you observe, it is not storing A, it is storing a numeric value 65. That's why we say that character is also integral type. As the data type is character, so it is interpreted as a character alphabet. So if you want to display it on the screen, it will show A instead of 65. So I have shown you about the ASCII code and how they are stored. Now one more thing about this one. If I don't see this as a character, if I see it as a number, then in 8 bits, what is the minimum and maximum number that it can store? This is the very important thing that one must know. In 8 bits, 1 bit is reserved as a sign bit and the number is stored in the remaining 7 bits. 1 bit is reserved as sign bit. How come characters will have sign? No, character is also taken as an integral type of data. That is the reason it has its negative values also, positive values also. So in the 7 bits, what is the maximum number they can store? 2 power 7 is 128. But starting from 0, it will go up to 127. So it means in 7 bits, it can be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 and 0. So this becomes 0. And it can be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 7, 1 makes it as 127. If you convert into decimal form, it is 127. So we can store a smallest number in 7 bit, that is 0, and the largest number in 7 bit is 127. So it means within this 1 byte, we can store numbers from negative 127 to positive 127. So this 0 can be positive negative also, and 127 can also be positive negative also. So this sign bit, it can be either 0 or 1. So it can be 0 or 1. 0 means it is positive, 1 means it is negative. So any of this number can be either positive or negative. That's how we have minus 127 to plus 127. But one thing here is 0, it cannot be negative. But negative 0 means we call it as 128. It is minus 128 to 127. So the range of this character is minus 128 to 127. How it is becoming, I have already shown you. Now let us look at next set of characters. See, there are more characters given here. So I'll talk about them. Next is a wide character. This takes 16 bits. So this is useful for storing large size character. Actually, character also acts as a integral. So for storing a larger size integer, this is taken. Then these two characters, these type are useful for supporting Unicode. Now because of the internet, the natural language support is growing. So we find that the websites are available in various natural languages like Chinese, Japanese or Hindi or English. So same way, a program can also use those language alphabets. So for that, for various natural languages, the codes are available. Those are called as Unicodes. To support those natural languages, these data types are available in C++. ASCII codes we have discussed just now. What about the Unicodes? If you want to know about the Unicodes, you can visit a website called unicode.org. There you can find out the codes for various natural languages and you can use those codes. This Unicode may not be supported on every C++ compiler, but the data type is available. Now let us go to integral type.